Today, I have the absolute honor of interviewing Chris Clark. He's a phenomenal artist, and we're gonna take some time to get to know him and learn more about his family, his art, and the place he's making in AI. Chris Clark is a multi-dimensional artist whose work lives at the intersection of technology, imagination, and live experiences. Chris is known for pushing creative boundaries through painting, mixed media, and he calls it Synthography, a process he describes as taking pictures with your mind. His work re-envisions the past while imagining far into the future, using creativity as a way to explore memory, identity, culture, and possibility. For Chris, art isn't limited to just one form. Sometimes it appears in ink, sometimes in oil, acrylic, spray paint, words, music, or AI-generated visuals. Depending on what he's feeling and what the idea demands, Chris is going to always make timeless work. His work reflects both personal reflection and collective experiences, inviting conversation. So we'd like to welcome Chris.
My man, what's good with you, man?
As a photographer, I look at what I do as a medium to capture the moment. How do you see yourself as an artist, like when it comes to what you see and what you feel like is art?
I've always felt like being an artist or like any kind of creator, it's kind of like a form of journalism. So like we're capturing moments and we're capturing history, like living history in real time. So like for me in my art practice, I kind of treat it like I'm writing a diary. Mm-hmm. And so I'm talking about like real world things, and not just like stuff you see in the news, but like things that affect me personally. And so just like writing in a diary, but I'm just putting it in images on canvas. So like anything that's important to me, things that I like, things that make me happy, things that make me sad, some political stuff, some like social issues and stuff. But yeah, it's a form of journalism. And so I'm just trying to record what I see, and hopefully it'll mean something later in the future, the people who see it.
That's exactly why I asked you that. I was in Atlanta last week. I went to the High Museum of Art, and they feature. I'm not going to tell you the artist's name because it wasn't nobody from my descent, but it was the fact that it was in the 1800s. Yeah. You could tell that he probably had money, and he had a very distinctive style of fine art painting, and it was in the 1800s, but he was in the mountains of Brazil, and you can see that there was some kind of civilization. There was people just enjoying the view, mountains, water, and I was just thinking like, wow, this guy allowed us to see what he was looking at. You could tell he was just sitting there painting nature and the people. He included the like very detailed of the mountains and what everything looked at that moment in the 1800s. And I was just sitting there like, people were very carefree, and it was the fact that this painter captured that, you know what I'm saying? Like he is like from the 1800s, and then who pointed it out was someone who's not even in art. He was like, man, I can't believe they did this in the 1800s. And I was like, wow. So do you feel like you are not only recording history, but do you feel like you're a storyteller?
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's almost like a visual time machine too, being able to transport people from the future to like your time and what you saw and how things were in the world. You know, there's a lot of political art right now.
Yeah.
Based on our current administration, so people will be able to look back and visually see the stories of what we were experiencing, like everything from ICE and deportation and all that stuff.
Yeah, man, that's deep. Before I became a photographer, I had a fascination with come-up movies, like people who were like rob art, like heist movies. Yeah. And sometimes it'll be like diamonds, or it'll be like someone stealing like a replica of a like what's his name? What's the artist's name? They painted the 16.
Leonardo
da Vinci. Yeah, and I be seeing people, they be stealing that art, and I just be like thinking like you can you could really you can really like get your hands on it and make a lot of money, like, you know, but some people duplicate it and sell that.
Yeah.
And so I'll just be looking at how people be bidding on certain things, and then there's somebody that may be in there who may not have any money, but they be like looking at everything. So I used to always have a fascination with people who would see value in things and want to go through grave lengths to just steal it, to sell it. I used to be like, wow, I wish my stuff would, you know, that, again, this was before I was a photographer, but I used to just admire, not that I'm not someone that would be considered a thief, but I just admire someone would put so much energy and thought in stealing something valuable, not even money, but art or a diamond, something like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you created someone see it and they like, I want that. So whatever I got to do to get it, I'm going to steal it so I can sell it. So I always had a fascination with just the intent, you know what I'm saying? Now, with your art, do you intentionally just like go out and just like create stuff on a daily basis? Or do you just like, it just comes to you?
A little bit of everything. So it really depends on how I'm feeling. It depends on what's going on in the world. What's going on in my world at the time. Like sometimes I'll depict like my children, or I'll depict things that I'm studying. Like I know one time I was in Miami at my grandparents' house, and I always wear this big ring. It's actually Marcus Garvey.
Marcus Garvey, yeah.
And she was like, "What's that on your ring?" I was like, "Marcus Garvey." And she was like, "What you know about Marcus Garvey?" So I made a piece about it, like all the stuff I knew about him. So sometimes it's random.
Random, right.
Yeah, so it's just random stuff. Sometimes, a lot of times, I'm recording like what's going on in the world at the time.
And what kind of relationship that you had with your parents and like, you know, like grandparents? What kind of relationship at a young age? What kind of parents did you have with them? Was it dynamic? Was it cold? Was it like, did they help foster your artistry?
Oh yeah. So like my mom, that's actually where I get my art from. You know, I did music too, so I get that from my dad. He played in a reggae band when I was growing up. He played bass guitar. But yeah, they always fostered it. They always poured into it, bought me paint, bought me easels, color pencils, sketch pads, all that stuff. And like this is something I know, like for a lot of people, it can start off as a hobby, just something they do in their spare time. But I think for me, like, I think it's rare for somebody to know like who they want to be or what they want to do, like from a small age. So from when I was young, it was always art and music. And so they saw that at an early age, and so they put, you know, the right tools in my hand, instruments, you know, when I was doing music, recording equipment when I got a little older and got into music production and stuff. And I remember when I was a kid, there used to be this commercial that came on.
Which one?
It had like a drawing test. Like they would send you a drawing test in the mail, and you can go to this drawing school. And I remember like I begged my mom, could I do this test? And so we signed up for it. They sent me it's like a little brochure. Like you got to draw a pirate, draw a dog on one side. And like a guy actually came from the school, came to the house and met me and all that stuff. It was crazy.
And one thing that I admire you from afar, because, you know, we would pass in certain circles, was that you are a father and you don't mind uplifting your kids publicly. And then you don't mind showing the love that you have for not only just your family, but your wife. And it's always like, you know, of course, nothing can never be perfect, but it's just that you take the time to showcase your life. How hard is that in today's society to be like, like to show that that you happy in the marriage and you father the kids, like is that tough for you, like behind the scenes? Because people don't see the everyday behind the scene things, like kids fighting, wife being angry.
Yeah.
What's life like for Chris off social media?
Behind social, I don't know. I think I'm pretty open, transparent on social media. I mean, of course, you don't show like all the stuff, but I mean, life is real. Like you said, like kids fighting. My kids fight all the time. I share that stuff. You know, me and my wife, we don't always see eye to eye, but I think that's a part of what makes like a relationship last. Like how they say, iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron.
But like my wife is very intelligent. She's probably a little bit smarter than me. Y'all can edit that part out. Yeah, she's very bright, very witty. So, you know, from time to time we bump heads, but I think it's because we both think we know it all. We got the right answer, but I don't know. I love it. I love sharing because, like, I always want people to see that, like, I'm a real person. Like, I'm not just like. So I had a established artist colleague of mine, like world-renowned, famous artist, selling pieces, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I was asking her for some career advice one time, and so she gave me some advice about my Instagram. She was like, "Yeah, you know, on your Instagram, you know, you got all that family stuff, and you know." You need to make it more arts focused because when curators come to your page, they just want to see art. And what I told her, I was like, you know, that stuff is like it's a part of my brand, like it's a part of who I am. Like when people talk about my art, like a lot of times I'll get people who be like, "Oh, I love your art and all that stuff," but what I really love is how like you painting with your children and you and your wife take them to museums and stuff. So. Like it's a part of who I am, so I don't mind sharing it. Like I like sharing it because it lets the world know that I'm a real person. Like I don't just paint all day. Like I'm playing catch with my son outside, or helping kids with homework, or me and my wife are doing something. I'm supporting one of her events at her job. So yeah.
Do you feel like you're gonna have like a you know, like every once in a while in life, there's always that one person of each generation. Like there'll never be another Bruce Lee, there'll never be another Michael Jordan. They'll never, you know, like, do you feel like you are birthing and raising the next generation of a superstar in your family?
Well, I don't want to speak too soon. I don't want to jinx anything, but. Yeah, I think all of them, everybody probably feels that way about their children, but each of them are...
Nah, but you know though, when like, I'm talking about like, you know, when you see somebody, you be like...
A prodigy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, each of them are special in their own way. Like, I talk about my oldest daughter a lot, just because she's
the one
oldest.
you did the book with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just because she's the oldest, like, they all are exceptional in art, but... Her art is like she can draw better than me right now. She just turned 14. And so she's probably going to be, I mean, they all are, but yeah, like her art is next level. Like I'm always impressed. And not because she's my daughter, like I'm not being biased, but like,
wow.
Like it's crazy. Like I wasn't doing that at 13.
Wow. What year that was when you and your daughter published your first book together?
So I started creating that book in 2014. We didn't publish it until 2017. So she was about 4.
Was she excited that it was like, hey, I published a book with my dad?
Nope. No, kids don't care. Like it's normal. Well, my kids don't care. Like going to museums or like. She was just in the Mocha. So that big show we had there, Jazz Contemporary, I did a portrait of her in there. She didn't care. Like it's just everyday life to them. I think that once they grow up and look back, they'll be like, wow, like I did that. Like me and my dad did a book, or like my face was in a museum. But right now, it's just normal life to them.
Man,
and they're just used to it.
Real quick, because I really want to dive deep into the AI thing. Out of all the accomplishments and achievements that you came across or received, what was your favorite like publication or highest form of like notoriety that you feel like you have gotten like from all? Because if you Google Chris Clark, a bunch of stuff come up. Like, you know, like I know you had some artwork in Africa. Yeah. Like what was like the highest like achievement you felt like, okay, I made my mark in this world? Okay,
so I always tell this story. So when I was a kid, growing up in Tallahassee, we had like 3 radio stations we listened to. So in the morning, you listen to Tom Joyner on 96.1. Then we had a station, 100.7 The Beat. They had a show called, can't remember, it was either Russ Parr or Doug Banks, one of those shows. But anyway, on one of those shows, they were interviewing Russell Simmons one morning. And they asked him the same question, like, how did you know when you made it? Like, is it when you made your first $1 million or when you were able to buy a Rolls Royce? And Russell Simmons said, I knew that I had made it when I was able to help somebody else attain the same level of success that I did. So that's my answer too. So when I was able to help other people achieve their art dreams, and that's how I know. Because I mean, in order to do that, you gotta reach a certain level first. You gotta be in certain rooms. You gotta know certain people to be able to reach back down and help somebody else up. So like when I was able to help the next person, then I was like, okay, I'm doing a little bit of something.
Wow, that's deep. As a photographer, I'm just gonna be transparent. As a photographer, AI, when it first came out, gave me a little, gave me a little scare, and I was very uncomfortable because I was like, wait a minute, so I got to figure something else out. But it challenged me to say, okay, hey, you're either gonna stick with it or evolve even more. With you, well, when I seen the article, you're like one of the you were on the forefront of AI when it came to art, regenerating images or the images that you created. Did AI come to you, or did you go to it when it first came out? Like, how did you create that relationship with AI? Like, what was your first connection with AI? Because when I first saw it, I really my first connection with AI was I was like, nah, I'm not gonna get into it.
Yeah, so I didn't know anything about AI. What's crazy is I was introduced to AI by a photographer.
Really?
Who was using it, and not like for photography, but just like for fun, just like generating images of like strong black women and like sci-fi, Afro-futuristic scenes. I was like, what is that? And so she told me, I don't know if I can say her name where I said Cheryl McCain. You probably know.
Oh yeah. She's dope. Yeah, you can say her name. Yeah.
Cheryl introduced me to AI, so she walked me through like this is how it works. And that's when Midjourney first came. Well, it didn't first come out.
Yeah.
But that's around the time. That was 2021, so that was when it just got on the scene. And I remember my first time using it. Me and my wife, we were watching something on Netflix, and so I was just playing around with it. And when I generated those first 4 images, I was like, you gotta pause the TV real quick. Like, I gotta show you this. And she over there like, I don't want to see that stuff. And like my mind was just blown because I was like I saw more than just I don't know, I think most people when they saw AI, they were like, oh, this is gonna make my job obsolete, or this is gonna like take away from what I do. But when I saw it, I'm like, this is gonna elevate what I do. Like, I can use this to do like far greater things than what I'm doing now. So it was like a light bulb went off in my mind when I first started using it.
But so like for instance, like you can use AI, but you don't need to buy paint anymore. You don't need to buy canvases. You can create everything from AI. Like that would elevate you. But what about those mom and pop stores that take the time to create the kind of texture paint that you use, or the kind of paper, like you wouldn't really need those anymore because you can create it and then print it on any kind of paper you want.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. So traditional art would never go out of style. Like an actual painting with a brush is not the same as printing it off on a piece of paper.
Gotcha.
That's different.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the way that I use AI, so like I saw a meme one time. It said something to the effect of, I haven't reached, what is it? My skill set hasn't reached like where my creativity is yet. So like sometimes I have like these far out ideas, but I can't even begin to like put it together to get it onto a canvas. And so that's kind of what AI helped me do. So like there are things, so basically AI is just like using Google. So say you ask me to paint a picture of a chicken in some overalls throwing a frisbee, right? So I'm gonna have to go on Google, I'm gonna have to search chicken, find the right chicken. Then I'm gonna have to go on Google, search overalls. Then I'm gonna have to go on Google, search frisbee, and then figure out a way to put all that together. AI does that 100 million times faster. So I can type in AI, chick in overalls throwing a frisbee, and it has access to all the images of like infinity, and it'll put something together, and I'd be like, okay, that's what it looks like. Now I don't have to copy that. I can just use that as like a base, like as a blueprint, as inspiration. But it's 10 times faster than me searching each thing, and so that's how I use it. So I'm not trying to like create images and then just print it out and be like, yeah, here's my art.
So you use AI as a tool.
It's a tool. Like sometimes I put my own art in AI. So like one of my most popular images, y'all probably seen it. It's like the kids I do. They have the dreads and they have like the shades.
Yeah.
So that started from actually my children's book. So I was creating a new character for it, and I wanted him to be based off me. I always wear like these little round sunglasses, and so I did this little sketch. I put the sketch in AI, created some different variations of it. I found one that I liked, and then I took that one that I liked and I painted it on canvas. Like I actually painted it with oil paint, and I took a picture of that painting. I put that painting back in there, created some more variations of that. So it's like I'm using my own art to like build upon it.
That's dope. That's dope. Do you work well with other curators, like people who have spaces and events and then they curate? Like, do you work well with those, or you feel like you could be your own curator because you know your art? Like, you don't have to partner and collaborate. Do you see any benefits with that?
Yeah, I work with curators. I mean, like I do a lot of art shows and like different exhibitions. I think it just depends on who it is. I think the more or the higher you rise in your career, like certain things start to fall off, and it's not because like you're too good, but like just certain things don't serve you anymore. So like when I first started, I started like just how anybody else. Like I did stuff in coffee shops and like stuff like that.
Right.
So now I'm at the point where I can do like museum shows and like certain galleries and stuff. So
you had a issue with someone. The only reason I'm mentioning it is like, how do you safeguard yourself from that in the future? You had an issue with someone in New York, and it was like one of my first, because you very expressive on social media, but it was one of my first time kind of seeing you snap on somebody. Like, how do you safeguard? Like, are you more prepared to are you able to see things in people before you even go that route? Because I'm sure they didn't have did they have a reputation prior to you working with them?
They did, but I didn't know it. So I didn't know anything about the person, but there was like a feeling there. And so like early on, he reached out to me and he wanted to represent me at his gallery back home in Oklahoma. And I had a bunch of questions. I basically had a bunch of questions, so I wouldn't just have to come out and say no. I just asked questions I knew couldn't be answered. So I didn't do it, but I kind of had like a little feeling then. But yeah, I didn't know about the reputation, and I soon found out about it. And but it's New York. That was like my first time showing work in New York at a gallery, and so that's all my mind was on.
You was snapping,
showing in New York.
Right.
But after that, things just started to
unravel.
It started to unravel first with other artists, and then. Like there are things I started to notice, and then it happened with me, and then it was just a whole big thing. Like,
did you ever get compensated? Did you ever get your art? Wait, was your art taken?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So did you ever get compensated?
No, I didn't get compensated. I didn't get my art back. A lot of artists lost their art. A lot of collectors who purchased art from the gallery.
Shoot.
They spent their money. They never got their art. And so the last we all heard, because we had like a big group of artists who had
came together.
Yeah, so
virtually or in person?
Virtually.
Okay.
So last we all heard, the art was in a storage facility somewhere in New York. The storage was about to get auctioned off because it wasn't paid for, and so he had made, I guess, like the minimum payment that you had to make to keep it. So yeah, he still has the storage with people's artwork and stuff. So
yeah, and nobody having been able to find.
Yeah. So that kind of scarred me a little bit from wanting to work with galleries, but like, everybody's different. There are some good galleries and some good people out there.
Have you did anything in New York since then? Because I was like, 2 years ago?
That was 2021.
Oh, that's 3. Okay.
Yeah, so 2021.
Yeah, 5 years ago. We going on 20.
Yeah, I've done other things in New York.
New
since
York.
then.
Okay.
Other little gallery shows and stuff, little small stuff.
So have you been taking on the moniker? Because when I was reading your bio about synthography, have you taken on that moniker? Like, will you call yourself now a not only just an artist but a synthographer?
Yeah,
We just came up with that.
I think it's in my Instagram bio.
Really,
So
synthographer?
I got up there, artist, muralist, synthographer, something else.
Yeah. That's dope. Synthography. And what does this mean again?
So it's kind of like, so
Synthography.
I read this article and the guy explained it as a camera for ideas. So basically, being able to take a snapshot of your imagination and bringing that to life visually for people to see.
That's deep. Jeez.
So like one of the ways I use it, so I don't always use it for art. Sometimes I just use it like for personal reasons. So I try to think of certain parts of the past, certain things that we can't know. Like there's some things in the history we can't look up in the history book. Like there's no
reference.
there's no reference. There's no artifacts. So like for things like that, I try to imagine like what might this time have looked like, and so I can use AI to recreate what I think ancient Kush looked like in Africa or even the future. Where I might be able to create what I think a black future might look like before it's there.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I use it.
Yeah, man. When I was reading about you, man, I was just blown away about everything you're involved in, and you're probably one of the few artists that have like the most murals around the city. Is that true?
I'm probably in the top 10.
Top 10?
Probably in the top 10.
Have you ever experienced any vandalism to your art in the city?
Yeah, so back in 2020, so we did these murals. That was around the time that we had Ahmaud Arbery got killed, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd. So we did these murals over near Blanding, kind of referencing like the whole Black Lives Matter movement and no justice, no peace, all of those sentiments. And so it was actually me and 3 other artists. All our stuff got vandalized. So.
What they paint black? What did they do?
No, so they went a step deeper. So they used some kind of paint stripper that just ate the paint away. So they were like holes in the murals, like, and then they targeted specific areas of the mural, like the eyes. So like we all do like portraits and stuff. So they put this stuff like all in the eyes, and so like the paint is running and tearing away.
Of course,
it was crazy.
Of course, especially in the area. Sorry. One of my favorite photographers that I look, that I look up to, is Tony Smeljic, and I have a great, deep appreciation for Mike Rockism. Am I saying his name right? Rockism?
Oh yeah, Rakim. Yeah.
Yeah, and Rakim. Yeah. But Tony captured a picture of your family at the downtown train, like the train station. You had your son in the front, and then the 2 kids in the back. Yeah. And it kind of reminded me of like a new cinematic like Black kids, like you know what I'm saying. It was so dope. You posted on your Instagram probably like 2 or 3 years ago, but have you ever replicated any pictures that other people took into your art with AI?
Have I?
Like took took pictures that like with your phone or someone a professional photographer like took that picture, put it in AI and replicated just to give it more depth and more creativity to it.
I don't think I've done that. I probably like painted some photographs, but I've never put.
Oh, so you put, okay, got you.
Yeah, I've never put like photographs. Like if I'm using AI, like if I'm not just using like straight up imagination, then I'm using like my own work. So I don't put like other stuff in there, not even like photographs.
Ah, got you. So you only put your, okay, that's dope. That's dope. Let me ask you an important question. Do you feel like are you in the process of like just preparing your kids for like the realities of being Black and being creative? Like, are you doing your part of like letting them know like what's to come? Because being creative and being Black is a whole new phenom. It's different, you know what I'm saying? Like there's good and there's bad.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like look at Kanye West. I feel like he was super genius at a young age, and then as they got older, it's like the world kind of like put their own little, title on you. They put that pressure, they put that, and then it's like you got to think for yourself, then you try to think for them, and then next thing you know, you just turn into something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you preparing them for what's to come, being Black and creative?
I try my best to. It's kind of hard with these new age kids. I think our generation was probably like the last generation who, I think like for us, like your Blackness, like your culture, all that stuff was very like important, like to us, and like integral to like who we are. Like, we learned about it in school. Our parents drilled it into us, and so I try to do it with my kids. It's a little harder in this time that they're living in because they're exposed to so much, and like everybody's their friend. Like they don't like. I catch myself sometimes like talking to them about certain things. They're like, "Yeah, but this person is my friend, and that person, I don't care about this and that." And so I got to remember, like, this is not like the '90s or like when I was growing up. Like, it's different. Like,
it's different.
So like I try my best to prepare them and make sure I teach them about like other creatives, Black creatives, and then just I think the best type of education is like real world education. So I try to expose them to real artists. Like they've met like real like practicing artists here in Jacksonville, outside of Jacksonville, a few famous artists, and then just by like leading by example, trying to like be an example. Not like I don't want them to be like exactly like me, but this is like use me as a blueprint and like build off of that.
Got you. That's dope. Two last questions and we out of here. How do you keep your human voice, emotion, and truth intact when working with technology-driven art forms?
I mean, to me, like, especially like if I'm using like AI or even something like a digital artist too, like a Procreate, like to me, it's just like I see those things as just like a medium. So AI or Photoshop or Illustrator, like anything like that.
You know how to use Photoshop? To an extent? Okay. That's my thing. Photoshop.
Yeah, I use Illustrator a whole lot more until Procreate came out. Now I just use Procreate.
Okay.
But like all those things to me, like I don't see them any differently from any other. Like they're mediums to me. So it's just like oil paint or acrylic paint. So whatever medium I use, you're gonna see me in it. Like I'm always gonna put myself into it, and I think that's how it's so easy for people to recognize my work. Like people always tell me, I know it's your work without even seeing the signature, because I'm being like authentic in my work and honest, and I'm telling my story. So it doesn't matter the medium, like if it's AI or Adobe Illustrator or oil paint or a can of spray paint. Like I'm putting myself into it. So it always has that. I guess like that human aspect to it.
Wow. It's so crazy. I don't share this with a lot of people, but when I first got into photography, I had to learn, back in the day, how they used to, dodge and burn. I learned how to take pictures from looking at the rudiments and the skill sets of, when you're learning how to paint and draw, because I used to draw, but I wasn't great. But I was looking at the technicality in it. So when I learned photography, that's how I learned how to edit. Dodging and burning, which is when you're doing the like with the black pencil and the darkening and learning shadows. Like I learned a lot from like the characteristics of what art is or how you create art. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that some people like about me is sometimes, that's why I like synthography. I sometimes, like when I'm working with somebody, I can kind of see the image that I want. And once I take the picture, it end up being the same thought that I seen. And I'm like, and some people, they be like, hey, you know, keep taking pictures. I be like, I already seen what I need to see. Like I captured it. And so that's what I like about my photography. It's like it's like an enigma for me. It's like I can see what I want in that person before I work with them. I'll be like, okay. Or if I see somebody, I say, you know what? You'll be my perfect muse. And so like back in the day when I used to like watch movies, when they would like showcase, like, I don't know if you ever heard of a photographer named Helmet, but he would do like these sexy fashion nude things with women, Helmet Newton, and he would do these creative shots, and I was like, wow. And Gordon Parks, I'm a big fan of him, and so of course I could never be like a Gordon Parks, but what he meant to photography, like he was doing things like 50 years ago that we're just now kind of trying to, you know, embody. And so like when I see your art, I'll be like blown away, you know what I'm saying? I'll be like, you know, so, but anyway, when people come across your art, what is it that you will want them to feel or take away when they look at it?
That's a good question. So firstly, I make art for me first before I make it for people. Ooh. So like I said, like when I create art, I don't really have people in mind. Like I'm not trying to, like I'm not thinking what will get me a lot of likes on Instagram, or like what can I do that a lot of people gonna want to buy. Like I'm thinking about like how am I feeling today?
Right.
What's going on in the world today, and how is it affecting me? What did I dream about last night? So that's what I'm making art about. And so it's about me first. And so when people, so this was the same question you asked about like sharing my family and being like transparent on social media. Yeah. So I try to be transparent in my art, because a lot of times you might have a thought or a way that you feel, and you might think, oh, I'm the only person who feels this way, but millions of people in the world feel that way. But we're always waiting on the one person to say it first before we say, oh, yeah, I feel like that. Well, I do that too. And so I try to be real in my art, so that way when the viewer sees it, like they can see like a bit of themselves. Like they see a bit of their story in it. Like, oh, yeah, that, you know, my family grew up like that. Or oh, he draws with his daughter. I used to draw with my dad when I was growing up. So I want the viewer to see like a bit of their story.
Right, gotcha.
Looking at my work. So not just something pretty you can hang over the couch, but like something real.
Something real, gotcha.